Again, March 6th, the year 2009, Gokulam, Mysore, India. Again, I'm reading from this great book called The Mind of Ramana Maharshi. And since I'm going deeper and deeper into the householder life, with a new baby arriving later in the summer this year, I was caught and inspired by this one little interchange between Bhagwan, which Bhagwan Maharshi, which Ramana Maharshi was known as Bhagawan, and one devotee talking about householder life, and I wanted to read that to you. The devotee starts out by saying, "I am inclined to give up my job and remain always with Sri Bhagavan." Bhagavan responds by saying, "Bhagavan is always with you, in you. The self in you is Bhagavan. It is that you should realize, it is that you should realize." The devotee responds, "But I feel the urge to give up all attachments and renounce the world as a sannyasin." Sannyasin is one who has given up all worldly activities. Bhagavan responds by saying, "Renunciation does not mean outward divestment of clothes and so on, or abandonment of home. True renunciation is a renunciation of desires, passions, and attachments." But single-minded devotion to God may not be possible unless one truly leaves the world. Bhagavan responds, "No, one who truly renounces actually merges in the world and expands his love to embrace the whole world. It would be more correct to describe the attitude of the devotee as universal love than as abandoning home to don the ochre robe." Devotee responds, "At home the bonds of affection are too strong." Bhagavan responds, "He who renounces when he is not yet ripe for it only creates new bonds." Devotee says, "Is not renunciation the supreme means of breaking attachments?" Bhagavan says, "It may be so for one whose mind is already free from entanglements, but you have not grasped the deeper import of renunciation. Great souls who have abandoned the life of the world have done so not out of aversion to family life, but because of their large-hearted and all-embracing love for all mankind and all creatures." Devotee says, "The family ties will have to go sometime, so why shouldn't I take the initiative and break them now so that my love can be equal to all?" Bhagwan finally says, "When you really feel that equal love for all, when your heart is so expanded as to embrace the whole of creation, you will certainly not feel like giving up this or that. You will simply drop off from secular life, as a ripe fruit does from the branch of a tree. You will feel that the whole world is your home." There definitely have been times in my life when I have felt drawn to the life of a monk or renunciate, the life of giving up all worldly activities, of retreating to cave or ashram. But certainly as I mature more in spiritual life, I feel that it truly isn't necessary to give up worldly activity, to give up one's job, one's family. As Bhagwan says, true renunciation is that renunciation that happens internally, not externally. And as he also says, if you're not ready for that letting go of external activities, then you will simply become more attached to them. So it certainly makes much more sense to simply devote oneself to the renunciation of the internal self, of the internal activities of the mind and the ego, and then to let the worldly activities fall away themselves naturally. without any force of will. This is the kind of spiritual life that inspires me, especially now.